Thank you for joining us. My name is Shomit James. I'm the CEO of Ohm. Ohm Surgical, Ohm Digital Media, and Ohm Capital. Today, we have an exciting one. We are diving into the art of interviewing, and I have a very special guest, Mr. Bryce Yeh. He is a junior at UC Riverside. He's studying bioengineering. His father is a neurosurgeon, Dr. David Yeh, and we are gonna go over just what it takes to interview successfully. I wanna talk about my personal experience in interviewing. I look back when I was 23 years old and I had just graduated. I was excited for it, but I had no direction. I had a father who was a director of engineering for quality assurance reliability. He was so far removed, so I couldn't get my instruction there. It wasn't until my cousin, Alexander James, really honed in on my interview skills, and I'm truly appreciative of that, but at least I had the direction. So the point of this is to give him that. I have my team members here who are all different stages of their careers, and they can relate to that interview process. And so I hope this video, not only is it supposed to be an excellent message for Bryce, but it's also supposed to be helpful for others on the other side of the camera. So thank you for joining us, and we look forward to the art of interviewing. This segment, the tools that are out there for you. So what we had back in the day was not much. You know, you would look up the company on the website, you would try to find someone like their CEO, someone in the C-suite that really told the story about the company. So you didn't know who the person that was going to interview you. Now the game has changed, and so lucky for you guys. Sucks for me, but lucky for you guys. There is LinkedIn. There's the Google search. There is Facebook, Instagram. Some people are showing who they are there. And if you do have the opportunity to find out who that person is, go directly to a LinkedIn and befriend them, or go to a Facebook and an Instagram. I don't find any problems or issues with that. And you could relate to them on a different level when you're doing that. Now, my colleagues have told me about the artificial intelligence aspect that lies out there. Another great tool. AI, how to interview. Invigorating questions on that so you can prepare yourself. Record yourself, right? So you can watch it over and over again and get better at what you're doing. Practice makes perfect, people. Practice makes perfect. That's why I'm doing these segments, because I'm going to watch this. I'm going to critique myself. We are the biggest freaking, we're the harshest critics on ourselves. So get yourself on video while you're doing this. Run through role playing. The thing that we used to do, and I think it's a lost art in itself, is role playing. Role play with a friend. Role play with a father, mother. If you can find someone in that industry, role playing is very important. Use the questions that you have received from your AI, your ChatGPT, and role play them. And that's going to help you get everything you want to talk about and convey to the person or persons in front of you. So highly recommend that. Guys, The Art of Interviewing by Shomit James, and actually it's not by Shomit James. It is really a hybrid of all the individuals that have impacted me in my life. And so we have Bryce Yeh, as I mentioned here. He's a junior at UC Riverside studying bioengineering, and this market is ripe. We're very close to it. So as I instruct individuals at his age, he is right now looking for internships. So the most important thing, I believe, is telling your story. Telling the people that are standing in front of you who you are. Hopefully you selected a degree that you're going to put out there in your internship. For example, Bryce is doing bioengineering, and so he is interviewing with medical technology companies, pharmaceutical companies, anything in that realm. And so he's very specific on who he is and what he's studying and the companies that he's looking for. So telling the story is super important. So if you are not practicing that, and you should be a freaking Jedi Knight when it comes to that, on your story, from childhood to high school to going into college to where you are now to the things that you participate in, whether they're nonprofit, whether, the philanthropy. I'm so amazed by the young people today because they had to do so much of community service to get to a great school like UC Riverside. So I know you've done that. There's the athletics that individuals are part of. Hone in on your athletics because that is some of the best things about either you're an individual or you're in a team sport. Both are freaking great. The individual, I always used to say, is the only man. Like, I was a pitcher, so it was team related, but I was on the mound, and it was so up to you. You look at a tennis player, you look at a golfer, you can have a coach, but you're the only one on the hook for that. So a team sport, you have to be synergistic. You have to be so synergized that everything has to move symbiotically. So all those are great. So we want to talk about things like that. You want to talk about your family, your tribe, people that have had tremendous influences on you. I'm a product of everyone that's had influence on me. My father, my best friend, Pej Vedat, he's my best friend, and I've watched him become a successful actor. By the way, check out Tracker with Justin Hartley. It's on CBS. So Pej was so determined to become an actor, and he is doing it, and we're so proud. So all these people have had tremendous influence on me, and that's what you're doing in an interview, Bryce. And those are the moments that you have to convey to the person or persons sitting next to you. Another excellent tool is on campus, right? Your career fairs. I remember, we had a bar on campus, so I was going a little bit inebriated, but that's neither here nor there. But their career fairs are great. The companies would set up shop. You get an opportunity to speak to a recruiter or maybe even a hiring manager there. Use that as an opportunity to frickin' present who you are. That right there in itself. I had friends that did excellent at a career fair where they got a job right then and there. It could happen, folks. So use the career fair to your advantage. Use your fellow students. They might be already privy to some of the stuff that's out there, right? Everyone's situation is different. They might have some valuable information to share with you, and you might have that with each other, and you guys can have this great freaking brainstorm session on just how to interview. So utilize that close network that you feel comfortable with. What do you want to get out of this workshop for you?
I would like to know how you're supposed to answer the most common type of interview questions, how you're supposed to approach them, what I currently need to work on.
There you go. That's one of those things where you're going to listen to it over again and you're going to say it out. I talk to myself. And I promise you there's no ghosts in my body. I talk to myself because I'm telling myself I'm practicing, right? Mm-hmm. Actors and actresses do it all the time when they run back lines. What do you hope to accomplish out of the workshop?
I hope to learn about the important tricks of interviewing, how to properly present myself in front of the interviewees, and learn how to answer the most common questions in the best manner.
Guys, I brought in Jonathan Pereira. He is my left-hand man because he's standing on the left. He's actually my 360 man. So I brought Jonathan in because he's a year with Ohm Surgical and Aegis Spine, and we are so happy to have him. He's one of the best in the business, but he's not too far removed from the interview process. So Jonathan, thank you for coming for this workshop. I mean, can you say something to the crew here on who you are?
Sure. Like Shomit had said, Jonathan Pereira. I am an associate of Aegis Spine and Ohm Surgical. I've been in the medical device space for a little over a year now. I've learned a lot, have taken in a lot, have soaked in knowledge from some of the best in the game, and I am here to return that knowledge in any way that I can. I think the best thing about taking in all of the knowledge and experiences, being able to share it with others who are coming up and trying to do the same thing. So glad to be here, always looking to help and lend a hand when possible. And like you said, not too far removed from the interview process and what that looks like. So I'm definitely excited to help out.
We had a very interesting interview process with Jonathan Pereira, and the moral of the story is sitting right next to me. So must have been good, but it was definitely a journey. And I brought him on because he's going to be super helpful to Bryce here, and so we'll carry on. So we've formulated a list of questions. Thank you, artificial intelligence, for our interview questions. Tell me about yourself.
Hi, thank you for having me speak with you. My name is Bryce Yeh, and I'm from San Jose, California. I'm currently studying bioengineering at UC Riverside, and I'm a third-year student. Some things I enjoy to do in my free time are running, lifting weights, and play chess.
Perfect.
Nice.
Perfect. Now we're going to go into why did you choose bioengineering field. So let's talk through that right now. Why did you chose the biomedical engineering field?
It's not recording, right?
No.
Okay. I chose it because I see a lot of potential in because I feel potential in that human medicine type of field, and I want to contribute to the engineering side of it, and want to help find cures to diseases, or find or determine the problems.
Yeah.
Or solve problems.
Did that have anything because your parents are doctors, correct?
Yeah, so it's kind of because I want to work in the health industry kind of, but I don't know if I want to be a doctor or not, but I know I want to I know that I want to problem solve and hopefully make a positive difference.
Love that. Positive difference. I think that's all we're about. Actually, at Ohm, our company, the purpose of life is to live a life of purpose. So you're speaking our language. Okay. I think we were recording you, dude. That was really good. Let's do that again. Say that again. I want to help, or however you start it. Use the simplest words to get you started into something like that.
Give me a minute to think.
Yeah, no worries.
So the reason why I chose bioengineering is because at heart, I'm an engineer. I love to solve problems and determine the best solution to things. I want to make an impact on the health industry and solve problems greatest affecting human health.
Nice. Very nice.
You got the job. You got the job. Let's go here. Okay, this is a good one. Why do you want to work for our company?
The reason why I want to work for this company is because water is a very important part of human society. It's important that the community has access to clean water and that waste is properly removed. With my skill set, I can help diagnose problems and determine ways to fix them.
Yes, very good.
Oh, right. See that shit?
Yeah.
Fuck.
And that's
wow.
it's really just, and to his point, it's giving you all this information, all the experience that we've had, right? But you just find your way of conveying that message. And that's, at the end of the day, the interviewers are just looking to see your authentic self.
We talked about, what this job entails. What can you relate it to that you do in your day-to-day, your life?
Oh, well, my fish aquarium, right?
Fuck yeah. So your coral. It is, I have to religiously test this water. These are high items. Not only that, they're alive. They're alive, and if I don't test it, they could absolutely die. There is no difference that what those scientists are doing on the daily to test our water, so there's not dysentery, where there is not septic, when there's not like all sorts of E. coli in the water and contaminants, right? Okay, let's run that back. Why do you want to work for us?
I want to work for you guys because I see that testing water on a daily basis and ensuring that there's no diseases in the water or no pollutions is extremely important for our society, and it is relevant to bioengineering because it has related to with human health, because clean water is extremely important.
There you go. How do you ensure accuracy and reproducibility in your experiments?
In order to ensure accuracy in my experiments, I usually do multiple replicates, usually about 3. And additionally, after every step, I kind of have an idea of what I should expect after, and I can compare what I see with the results. And if something looks really off, I might redo it. And before I add something, I always triple check I'm adding the correct chemical or incorrect amount, because wasting is not good.
Wasting is not good.
Wasting sure isn't.
Now, my mom told me that. She would be like, "You're not wasting this meal.
Yep, 100%.
Eat it, right? You couldn't leave.
You couldn't leave the table till you finished everything on the table, on the plate."
That was good.
Nice, man.
That was good.
Yeah,
that was good. That one is good. Okay, now we're gonna move into, this is a tough one, right? What are your greatest strengths and what are your weaknesses? Tell me first what your strengths are.
But could you tell me what's the best way to kind of answer these questions?
Wait, say that again?
Could you how would you answer these?
Oh, you want to ask me how I would answer this? So, my strengths is my passion, right? I think number one thing that I have is I ooze passion. I'm very excited about everything that I do and all the people that are around. So, number 2 is I have a innate ability to connect things. I connect people, I connect technologies, and all for one thing that really I believe in is for the greater good. So I connect 2 people for the greater good. 2 people that similarity type things. I connect 2 technologies that they are going to work, and they might be separate entities, but you put them together and you have something freaking mind-changing, life-changing, all that kind of stuff. You feel me?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's that. Then I just freaking fun.
I think I had not really my true greatest strength, but it might really good to say it. Can I just kind of tell you what my idea is?
Dude, this is you, baby.
So
this is you.
My idea is that to say my greatest strength is communicating complex topics in a simple manner, and the evidence I can say is that for that 105 class I took that was really hard last quarter.
What was the 105 class?
It was the circulation physiology class.
Yes, okay.
And when I offered to help my friends who were struggling in that class because he didn't understand what the professor was saying. I taught him how to systematically, the mindset to approach their problems and break it down, how to approach, and he was able to go, he was going to get maybe a C, he got a B in the class.
Nice. Dude, okay, so you know what that tells me? That tells me, A, you have a big heart. I wanted to help my friend. B, you took leadership skills because you're the leader, you have the most knowledge, and you sat them down and you sat that individual down and you...
I went over problems, I taught him how a structured way to think that the person didn't give to us, like how you approach a problem, what important key steps you gotta make sure you get correctly, and even though it was toward the end, so he didn't get the most benefit of it, but it helped a lot. He did way better than his friends that didn't help with me.
And that's the result. And that's the third thing. Result, right?
Mm-hmm.
It was results driven. It was results driven.
Mm-hmm.
First, you led with your heart. Then you showed leadership skills by, helping. And then the result was, accomplish your goal. But, that's kind of like the mechanism that you just took into. All because you led with your heart first because you wanted to help your friend. Okay, now this is a tough one. The weaknesses portion. So, my thought on weaknesses is you might, first, we don't want to be hard on ourselves, right? We're our own worst critics. Everyone knows that. But how do I make a weakness into a strength?
Exactly.
Okay,
that's exactly what I was going to ask. That's what I've been told as well. So
okay, so you want me to riff or you?
No, go for it.
Do you have an idea for yourself? If I ask you that question in an interview, what is your weakness?
I would say my weakness is I tend to overextend myself. And I say that in a way of I want to always help everybody that's around me. I always think I can do more than I put on my plate. But it's because I always feel like if I'm able to do this for somebody else or I'm able to help in this way, like that opportunity to be able to assist is going to help me, and that's what satisfies me, right? But it can be an issue because I'm overcommitting to too many things at once, and then that ultimately takes away from my own personal growth and my way of excelling in myself. So I think committing to too many things at once would be one of my weaknesses, but I can play it into a strength because I'm always willing to help the person that's next to me or somebody else that's on my team.
Love that. Love that. That's a great answer, dude. That's a great answer. So for your sake, on weaknesses, what can we say is a weakness, but in turn, we make it a strength? So let's dissect that now.
And don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
Don't overcomplicate it.
Maybe I narrow too much on maybe one specific thing, and then I could maybe lose part of the bigger picture temporarily.
Okay. Oh, that's freaking good.
That's really good.
Let's riff off that one.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So we are saying that you're trying to take the whole project on as a whole. And sometimes when you're that ambitious about it, you lose out on taking it through stages or something, right? Is that kind of is that what you're saying, or what's your interpretation?
Or is it you're saying there is a project, you get tasked with doing a portion of that project, and you're laser focused on what that task is at hand, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna do and maximize whatever it is that needs to get done in that aspect. But in turn, that may hinder you because there may be a bigger picture to step back and kind of look, well, this is the ultimate end goal. Maybe looking at it so hyper-focused in this one area isn't the best way to approach it. Maybe taking a step back and seeing what other components can then affect this one topic that I'm focused on.
Okay.
Is that, I don't know, is that what you were kind of saying, or that's how it came off?
Let's break it down. This is a complex topic, right? So what do you do best? You take a complex topic and you break it down in a layman's, or 2 5-year-olds that are sitting here that really overcomplicated a fucking thing. So anyways, you go.
This for the weakness one?
Weakness. But we're spinning a weakness into a strength.
So my greatest weakness is sometimes when I'm assigned a task for a project, I'm laser focused on completing that task and doing it to the best of my ability, and I may lose the overall goal of the project as a whole, or other important aspects too.
Okay.
But if I realize that, I try to look at the other parts of the project and make sure they're good also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that might be a weakness, but you kind of catch yourself and then put it all in motion. But also, look, your brain is evolving. It's constantly evolving, right? So you are taking on a lot of the project because you're challenging yourself. Challenging. My fault is I take on too much of the project, but it's only because I'm challenging myself.
There you go. That's one way to spin it.
That's an easy one. I'm challenging myself. That's why I take it on. I think that's exactly what you're doing. You're taking on the whole thing because you're challenging yourself. And that's not a weakness. I am trying to get better.
You're dedicated.
Every single day. Give me a sports analogy. Gosh, JP is like an master sports guy.
I guess the analogy for that would be like you have a guy who, is an absolute laser sharpshooter. They are a 3-point specialist. That is what they do. They get out there and they shoot the 3-point ball. There's a high percentage chance that it goes in.
Stephen Curry's good.
But because they're so focused on that, their drive to the basket or being able to create their own jump shot may not be the best, right? But because I'm so good at shooting the 3 ball and it yields me the highest point return, that's all right. If I can be great at this one thing, or I'm so focused on that, or like I'm so dedicated, to getting this done, I can still be successful. That would be my analogy to it.
I think that's freaking a great thing. Okay, we ran through a whole interview. Now this is the final, what I call the close, because I don't care if you're going for sales or anything, like you are closing yourself. There's ABC, always be closing. So the close with the interview is the best, right? So my close of the interview is I would look everyone in the face and I'd say, thank you for having me. I really enjoyed our conversation. I enjoyed you telling me your stories and why this company is so great. It aligned with everything that I thought it would be. I know after talking to you people in this room that I want to work for this company. There is no doubt that I will do an excellent job and I will work tirelessly to get the job done. I think you guys should hire me. Actually, no, I don't think. I know you should hire me. Thank you very much. Damn.
Wow.
Damn.
I had not done that. I did not do that in my interviews. That's
Okay, but you make it look easy.
But that's not the point. That's not the point. You have to hear it. I don't know. That just came to my head. I fucking did it. Now, Jonathan might have a different way of doing it.
I don't find the stuff online. Online just a generic answer to the generic question.
Yeah, that's why we're doing this, right? This is real. This is real talk,
And
right?
I think to his point, that's his genuine self.
That is me.
So that right there, if me and you try to say that, it's gonna come off like I don't know. This is not so convincing, So, but he says it, you believed it, right? This was like, man.
Love, by the way,
hire
we're
this
filming.
guy.
We're filming, so you're talking in the back.
I gotta hire this guy, right? It's like, wow, all right, that sounds really good. You find your own way of twisting it. You say, in a very humble fashion.
They see the answer to why I should hire you question, or not really?
No, this is like, they might not have any questions for you. You are done. So you don't just say thank you for your time. You need to do a summation.
Yes, a summation. That's a great way to put it.
Is this before that? If you have any questions for us, or after that?
This is before, and I want to get to that.
Oh, shoot! I forgot that component. Thank you for bringing that up.
I think that's very, very important. Before you get to that, oh no, let's flip that. Let's say after that, and we'll jump to the questions. Do you have any questions for us? Always have a question. Always have a question.
Yeah, but I say this closing before that, right?
We'll say it after. We'll say it after.
He's right. I missed that. I missed that part.
That is very, very important because a lot of the times people will go in, they'll have no questions. And it's a pretty casual question. Do you have any questions for us? You're nervous.
I always ask questions.
Always ask questions. What is your question that you like to ask?
When I interview people, if they don't have questions for me, it's game over.
Yeah.
So
And that has lost me
Game over.
and gotten me a job, for sure. So what have you asked, or what do you like to ask?
I like to like ask more about detailed stuff for like about the role and like what tasks I would do and maybe like what's the company's like biggest like maybe I ask like interview like why do they like to like work here? What's like
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
stuff like.
Dude, great question. Why do you like to work here? You know, because
Well, like, explain to me like how a day will work, or like those type of, or like, can you explain like this specific thing you do more, something like that?
yeah, I'm with it. Yeah,
I'm with it.
you look, you're going to be working there. It's a lot of hours you're contributing to. You want to know why they want to work there. You know, because you're doing it for yourself. So that is absolutely a great question.
Yeah, I think one that I like to ask or kind of throw out there is, what would be an ideal candidate in your eyes, or what does the ideal candidate look to you, the panel? You know, then they kind of go into sort of, you know, they give you an answer, they talk about what it is. I don't know. I think it's just a good way to kind of dissect of what are they looking for.
That's a great one because, and then this is what you have to do. You have to store that in your head because right now they just went over exactly what they are looking for.
Yep, exactly.
Now it sets you up for the close, baby.
100%.
The karate chop,
Yep.
the friggin' crane kick.
The verbal judo.
So
Verbal judo.
the verbal judo. So you have to sum it up what they just said. So they just gave you the playbook. Take it home. So, yeah. So that's when you hit those points. So that's a great question to lead into the close. Okay? And unfortunately, we can't give that because your interview's next week. But, you know, you can anticipate it. This is the part where what we're going to do, what are we going to do? What is Bryce Yeh going to do?
Give it close.
Well, no, you're also going to practice, right?
Yeah.
You're going to practice and you're going to anticipate what that close is going to look like.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
And it doesn't have to be, like you said, a summation of key points that you talked on. Pick up on words that they use, the way that they're asking their questions, at what time do they ask their questions. You know, all of those things, and we didn't even touch on this at all, but body language is really, really
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Very
I fidget.
much. Yeah. Don't put your head down if you're thinking about something.
Yes.
Don't,
If you can get locked in, if you get locked in, like you want to be comfortable,
Right.
but you want to be locked in. I talk with my hands just because I don't know, like someone might come at me. No, I don't know. I just talk with my hands. Sometimes I just got to regroup and just get my hands in there. So that's very important.
Yeah.
The body language. Engineering, they're going to know that like, they might not have the best body language themselves. Read the person that you're with
100%.
and then try to adjust to that.
Yeah.
I know it's hard, but you might be sitting down with the CEO of the company that like me, right? And I don't know. I know enough about engineering to be deadly, but I have to know all of everything. So how are you going to impress me, right? If I'm standing here and I'm just like stern face, it's kind of intimidating, right? Not fun. So that's gonna change your tone of how you answer questions. So all this stuff, Bryce, is, and we're gonna sum it up here. And we want people to be interactive. We want people to send us messages because we'd like to do this more. We want to help Bryce. We want to help others like him and her and other girls out there. Everyone going through this process is something that I think Jonathan has an affinity for, and me too, about like giving back to the workforce because God, I didn't get any help in that regard.
Same,
So-
yeah. This is a great exercise. A lot of great topics and key components to focus on. At the end of the day, this is all to benefit you and anybody else who wants
there.
to interview.
Right, and practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. Practice makes perfect. And good luck to you on your interview. You're gonna kill it.
Thank you.